Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and in this episode, I talked to Burt Bakman from Trudy's Underground Barbecue. He is a guy who is smoking brisket in his backyard. The only way you can contact him is through Instagram. You send him a direct message. You try to order some brisket. If he gets back to you, he's got a lot of followers, a lot of people, but he does try to get back to every single person. His brisket is phenomenal. It rivals Texas. A lot of the barbecue joints in Texas. He's just really cares, really passionate about what he does. And it's a fun interview because he's actually cooking brisket at the time while we do the interview. He's in his backyard by his smoker. He's cooking for an event the next day. He has his phone leaning against a Topo Chico, so sometimes it slides because the table's kind of greasy from his cooking and brisket, and it's a sweaty bottle of Topo Chico, so it slides. And I kept all that in there. There's a helicopter that flies above him. It's just real life him cooking. So I think you're really going to enjoy that. Let me know what you think, and if you do like what you see, please subscribe. I'll be adding a new interview each week. Thanks so much. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it is happening right now. This is real.
So
This
I'll
is real.
what's the deal? What's going on right now? What are you cooking?
I am cooking now. I'm cooking briskets. The thing is, like, I went to a doctor, and the doctor said, like, cook all the barbecue that you want, but you need to get some rest. And because I usually cook the brisket from about 5 a.m. till about 1, 2 a.m. And then at 1, 2 a.m. I put ribs on, and then the ribs cook till the morning. So even once in a while, it does a toll. And so the doctor asked that I don't do that. So I'm trying to now. As soon as I'm taking some briskets out, I'll fill that space in,
Okay.
because there's parts of the smoker that are hotter. That's obviously hotter than other areas, and I can keep rotating them around. And of course, I mean, you don't want to get it done too hot too quick, obviously, but uh, to free up some space. Uh, Otherwise, I might have to get somebody to help me and cover for me, but I don't want to do that.
You want to be all to yourself, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Well, I just, if there's any problem, I the buck stops with me, so I don't want to. You know, it's difficult. It's gonna have to happen, but uh, you know, for now I'm cooking.
What do you have?
It's too bad. Like you said, usually I see you in person. Like you said, there's the most amazing whiffs of, like, these scents of of wood, like this
Uh,
clean smell, just this beautiful whiffs. Like, like sometimes what are we doing? What are we? And then you get this whiff, and you're like, wow.
that's
Like,
why. That's that's definitely. We're doing. This will add texture to the situation with the camera falling down.
I'm trying to lean my phone against a bottle of Topo Chico. So
That's perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing. That's what
this
everyone
is
should do.
the bottle of Topo Chico is holding it as I'm really feeling like I'm. Uh,
Do you have that? Do you have your notes anywhere near you so I want to see your notes.
I do, of course. These are my notes from today.
And what exactly are those notes?
So it's kind of, I'm just, to help me gather some statistics, some numbers of, at least, of my process. So here I'm starting with the date, and it says 7:15 a.m. 7:15 is actually late. I usually started earlier than that. At 7:15 a.m., I lit the fire. So the meat has already been trimmed.
Okay.
It's already been placed, in the smoker. Because by size, I place them by size as well. They've been placed. The doors have been closed. The fire was lit 7:15 a.m. And then
Okay.
I keep track. I'm writing in there that I'm putting, how many red oaks pieces, how many splits of white oak, just to see if there's any difference in later on in this in the meat itself, to see if there are any changes, what I can attribute those changes to, if I like them or not. And I go back and like, so I'll take um another, let's see, here's I have other other maps of recent cooks, uh, about of recent times that I cooked, and I can compare to see, like, all right, let's say by 5 p.m.
Hmm.
how many.
I love that. That's perfect. It looks. It makes. We know this is real.
This is real. This is real. Is there any blame Topo Chico? Topo Chico needs to have a better. They need to know that there's a good chance that these bottles will
Hmm.
be set on greasy surfaces. Those bottoms of those bottles, some high slip grip
So you see,
bottom.
so they take a
Most of the
skid proof bottom and maybe a flat side. One side should be flat.
something, so it won't be too slippery. It's amazing. Because
Yes.
usually it. Uh, hold on. I think this time I got it though. All right.
Okay.
So
Cool. Okay.
anyhow, so I have my map. It also looks kind of like a treasure map.
It does.
You know, they're so uh, and they got this, like, this character and this grease and dirt. But like sometimes I can see how many times I've visited the fire.
Hmm.
Every time I visit the fire, I make a note. I say, okay, 4 o'clock. This is the temperature. This is how the smoke is. What did I do to the smoke
Hmm.
box? Did I adjust coals? Did I add any? Move any? Did I pull them back? Did I pull them forward? Whatever. I make those notes, and I see, how it varies uh, from time to time.
Does the weather outside, does that matter? Do you write that down at all, or?
Uh, I do write them down because, of course, if it's windy, if it's humid, all those things have
Hmm.
part to do with it. But this summer has been fairly hot.
Yeah.
Has been fairly hot, and we've had some humidity. But overall, it's been good. I'm ready for it to start getting a little cooler.
Hmm.
I remember cooking when it was colder, like cooking, and then cooking when it was freezing and raining and dumping. So,
Is,
it's
so
crazy.
let's go, let's kind of backtrack a little bit. So when did you start cooking in your backyard?
Well, I've been cooking in my backyard, even though it was just for myself.
Hmm.
About 8 years ago.
Okay.
Uh, I got a big green egg. I got a green egg, and I started to cook at home. So, because I wanted to duplicate my experience, my barbecue flavor, the taste that I had in Texas at Franklin. I thought
Hmm.
to myself, "This is amazing. I'm going to do this," and I wasn't able to. But uh, you know, steak would come out all right, burgers would come out all right, chicken would come out all right. So I had hope in the machine, and I kept trying to do brisket. And I remember thinking, like, "Oh my God, this brisket is coming out great." And now that I look back at it, and I picture, because I always shared it. So I'll see a picture of a brisket that I posted on Facebook 5 years ago, and I remember how I thought, like, what an amazing brisket this is. I'm like, you look ridiculous. This is,
That's hilarious.
yeah. Uh,
So about 8 years ago, you started kind of cooking on the big green egg, and then when did you jump to? And you at that time you had been going to Texas, what, a couple times a year or once a year? Or were you?
once, twice a year, I would go there because my background, my day job is in real estate. So the company that I'm with is headquarters in its headquarters are in Austin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So once a year they have a big conference in Austin.
Okay.
So but I went to Austin. Who knows? This company could have had their headquarters in Memphis or
Yeah.
in Carolina. All I know, I would have been doing a whole hog here.
For sure. Oh, that's so funny. So it was based in Austin. So you would go, and then you were able. You spent like a few days each time when you went there.
Yeah, a few days, a few full days, but I would always go back to the barbecue. I would always go back to the barbecue. The first barbecue I had in Austin was at Stubbs.
Okay.
I went to, and you know, and I thought it was not, it wasn't great. And this woman told me, she's like, "You went to Stubbs. Did you see any smoke?" I said, now that he's mentioning it, I didn't see any smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So, she sent me to Franklin's, and I went to Franklin's, and then yeah, and that's
Did you? So you was that the first real taste you've had of like?
the first. That
Yeah.
was the first taste, and really, how many people have told you this? That they've went to Franklin's, they had a bite, they had this like epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
I want one of those people, and look, it's one of the newer places. It's not, you know, it was in Austin. It wasn't right there where I could go to Louis Mueller,
Yeah.
or someone to really. But at that time, I didn't know about Wayne Mueller.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about Mueller. I didn't know about any of the families.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, it was Franklin, and it was a long line. But it's amazing, and I saw that these people are over there cooking, and um, it's like they're having a good time. People are voluntarily waiting in line for 2 hours, three
Exactly.
hours. Why? What's going on?
And they're not complaining. It's just part of the thing.
Part of the thing, absolutely. You got to do it. It really is. The line is really part of the experience.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So what made you
I hope
what sparked you to get a smoker then? Because that happened within the last year that you got a smoker.
I've been wanting to get the smoker for a while because I figured a way to do two briskets at a time on a green egg, and I would make them and give it away. I would
Mm-hmm.
make sandwiches to help me, transport them around better, and I would give them away. I would make them and give it away. And then I had another smoker where I could do four briskets. And the talk of getting a bigger smoker came around, and I looked around, and I met this guy who claims to have built Aaron Franklin his first kid.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to believe it. I'd like to believe that it's true. Investigate. I will be let down. In my head, true.
It's better. It's better you not know. That's the way it is.
I don't know. I don't want to. I want to see the results.
Uh,
And uh, and so it was amazing because I'm always going to eat at these places, and like I see these guys opening pits or like doing things, handling the brisket, and like you always want to see like you think like what is it, what is it, what does that feel like to do that, like to actually go to to be on the other
mm-hmm.
side of the fence. And I thought like what, I'll get it, I'll get it, and I saw some kind of a viral video on YouTube, on Facebook. That was like one of those videos that everybody posts about uh, taking leaps and doing. It was like a perfect time. It was a video by Steve Harvey that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, uh, randomly, So it was a Steve Harvey video of him and saying like, "Go for it." Then I'm oh, a smoker. I'm doing it. I did it. And I got my smoker arrived. I was so excited. I thought it was so huge. Days after I got it, I wished I got a bit more.
And how big was the one that you got?
250 gallon,
Okay.
250-gallon propane tank. And now I have one that's coming that's 750 gallons.
Okay.
Be a more serious size. And I'll be able to do more and have some more people come through the backyard.
And now, so then, when did you start letting people know what you were doing? Like letting the public know what you're doing?
Uh, I had it was around October.
Okay.
So now in August, so about 10 months ago. And a buddy of mine always said, like, look, Bert, you can't just keep making barbecue and giving it away. You can't just keep making barbecue and giving it away. And he encouraged me, and he made me this stamp because I would make people these sandwiches with this butcher paper that I
Mm-hmm.
would wrap. He made me the stamp that went so well on the butcher paper, and it kind of gave it life. And I said, okay, you know what? I still remember the first person who came, the first person who has no connection, no contact to me in any way, complete, that came to my backyard.
Okay.
And it was I still remember the first guy that came by, to pick up a pound of brisket. It was a guy that I had no contacts to, no connection
Mm-hmm.
to at all, who came, and we chatted for a while about barbecue, about food, and it was in the dark. It was outside here, outside my place, and it was great. And I thought to myself, oh my God, like this is crazy. And and then another person, and then a couple other people. And at first, I was spreading the word on. Never on Facebook. I never told my own friends about it. But it was through like Nextdoor is an app that connects neighborhoods together. So I was
Okay.
mentioning, there was a conversation on Nextdoor between all the neighbors talking about barbecue. Uh, and then I started a thread saying like, "Oh, what about this
Okay.
the ground?" And a few people messaged me. Those people told a few people. And it went on and on and on. Um,
Was it called Trudy's at that time?
yeah, I don't think I had the stamp yet. Maybe I did have the stamp, but yeah, it was always Trudy because that was always the inside joke. Is Trudy? And the Trudy it gets a kick from this. She loves it. She
And
has a shirt.
that's your mother-in-law? Is that?
That's no, that's one of my very good friends. It's his mom.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he's from Canada. She's from Canada, and every so often she comes to LA to visit her son. So when she comes, all of his friends know that Stuart's mom is coming. She's gonna make us this brisket, and the brisket is brisket that goes in the oven. So it's like brisket, carrots, celery, mirepoix, you know, tomato sauce, covered with foil. Come back in 3 hours.
Classic oven brisket. Yeah.
Oven brisket, 350 for like 3 hours, 400, whatever it is, and that's it. And I would always tell them, like, guys, the brisket that I do is totally different. Like, I'm there smoking this thing for 8 hours, 9 hours in this green egg, like it's totally different. So my brisket caught on this name, like this Trudy special, because I would make these sandwiches to go around, to be able to go around to give it to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I would set up like geographic areas, and I would know, okay, I'm coming to West Hollywood, guys. I'm going around. I'm dropping off, in a route.
Okay, I see.
It was amazing.
And
Those are
so
the days.
those were the days. So then, what sparked you to set up an Instagram, and did that blow up really quick? I remember. I want you to talk about Eater too, because I know that Eater kind of changed the game too for you.
There definitely changed things. Well, I have my first Instagram account, which is my personal account,
Mm-hmm.
where I have more about pictures of my kids, family, and it was a mix of things. I'm really interested in contemporary art. I'm really interested in culinary arts. I'm really interested in architecture. I'm really interested in design and color in general. My kids, and of course, work, real estate. Properties, and all things that are related to all those things. And in there, I also mixed in barbecue. So the same guy who made the stamp for me encouraged me to open a separate Instagram account that'll be just for barbecue. So like this, I don't have to water down my personal
Mm-hmm.
filters with constant,
Yeah.
you know. Uh, so I did something completely separate, and it was great because I was able to focus on barbecue
Mm-hmm.
and connect with a lot of people who were interested in barbecue, and have the conversation of barbecue. Like, and at that time, uh, there really wasn't much going, and it's really
No.
just there really wasn't much going on, and since then, like, it seems like LA has really been, uh, heating up barbecue
Without a
wise.
doubt. Yeah.
Pro guys, like me that are are cooking, in their backyards. Uh, there's more and more these like barbecue pop-ups that are happening, which is great. Collaborations are happening. La Barbecue is coming over here. I remember when I was actually in Lockhart at Black's, uh, speaking to the son, and he was saying that he would love to open one up in LA. He would love to open one,
Bring it on. Bring it on. That'd be great.
you know, blacks, blacks, barbecue blacks in Burbank or
No.
something.
Burbank's perfect location, I think.
Yeah, great location. I'm driving around there a lot, and
Hmm.
I think there's some great spots there for barbecue. It's like they have this old like sign paintings and these old signs and neons and just big streets. It seems to me like it looks like a neighborhood in Texas. Looks
You
like
could
some.
you could you could actually have 10 barbecue joints in that area just scattered around.
If you build it, they will come.
Well, that was, and I think what was exciting too was when I started hearing about you. Trying to find you and trying to get a hold of you was part of the excitement, and I wonder if that's something that people really love too. And they still do, because I still get people asking me, "Do you know where this is?" And I had to hit the contact him via Instagram.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thanks. Uh, I go. I remember when I went to this guy Wolf's Mouth. There was a guy in
Uh huh.
downtown Wolf's Mouth, Craig Thornton. And Craig is an amazing chef. He's like a genius chef guy, and he was a personal chef. And he started doing these like fine dining experiences in his loft in downtown. And you'd get picked, and you'd get in. You'd make your
Yeah,
way in.
people wrote letters to try to beg to go. Yep. Hmm.
Uh, I have a very good friend of mine. He created and directed and produced and did all of that, all of the chef
Oh,
table and the sushi. He was invited. I went with him.
is that David?
I went with David Gelb.
Hmm.
Yeah. So David and I went to. So you go to this guy's place and you think to yourself, where am I? I'm in downtown by outside of a place, and I see that there are other people that are very similar to my demographic. Standing there with bottles of wine. Like, where are you? Like, all your are you know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
So I remember that very well, and it's the same. I walked into a guy's house who was prepping hummus in his house. He was doing hummus, like a few different kinds, and I came here from Israel, so hummus is very familiar to me. So there's a guy who turned his home into a hummus restaurant,
Is he
and I
still?
went.
Does he still have this?
He was shut down, and he opened up.
Okay.
Because these were all Israelis coming in, not caring about parking, not caring about incognito, just coming in, something like,
Hmm.
this is not gonna fly. Um, but and you go, so it's definitely like this, especially for somebody who has never been to an underground type of a thing. They'll come to this backyard. I try to definitely make them as comfortable as soon as I see them. And you'd be surprised. People still they show up with kids.
Hmm.
They come with kids, and what's funny is how many guys come with their girlfriends or wives, and they send a wife to go pick up the meat.
Really?
Like they go, oh, they like, and I can see by their tonality and their body language, basically saying like, oh,
It's,
you know
it's
what,
starting to
not,
slip, I think.
this is not dangerous. I'll go.
Well, that's that's hilarious.
It's great. It's great. It's fun. It's fun. And there've been some great people that have been coming through.
Oh, there's a plane.
What technology? Unbelievable. I remember reading about like speaking in video,
Hmm.
thinking like to my, that's unbelievable.
And the fact that you're on like a phone, like I never saw the leap to from just dialing on a phone, talking to someone to actually being able to see them and actually talk to them. It's crazy.
Video, unbelievable. All over the world, you see somebody like walking in a different country.
Hmm.
Technology is just unbelievable. And speaking about different countries, you've seen barbecues all over the world.
Hmm.
You know?
Definitely. And have you watched that documentary yet? Do you have Netflix? You have Netflix, I'm sure. If you obviously, there's a
The
really.
best. I bought the movie on iTunes.
Oh,
The movie Barbecue. It
mhm.
came out. I bought it on iTunes. I finally got around. I bought it. The next day, it comes out on Netflix.
I'm sorry. I have nothing to do with it, but why am I apologizing?
I would have just waited a day and got it on Netflix. I
Uh-huh.
never bought them. Bought the movie.
Well, it shows your dedication to barbecue that you're willing to purchase.
Absolutely. There's always some. You know, I drive around even in LA. I drive around. I listen to podcasts, different barbecue podcasts. Very interesting. A great way to pass the time in a
Uh-huh.
car.
I listen to them too. I listen to podcasts all the time. I'm always quoting and saying, from this podcast. I'm like, I'm always, that's all I listen because it helps the time go by in LA because we're in traffic so much. Do you listen to
There's
the one? Do you the JC Reed's one? The one in the Houston one? I'm trying to think of the name.
I listened to the Houston one. Is the Houston one? There's a guy and a girl. It's something from the Houston Chronicle
Hmm.
or
It's
and
JC Reed. JC Reed, and I'm trying to think of the woman's name. It's I. They did you see this is the one where they interviewed Wayne.
yeah, two parts.
2 parts, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I heard it. I was listening to it while I was trimming brisket. To hear him speak is actually it's great because I had no idea the guy has a background in
Marketing,
marketing,
yeah.
you know, working at the Houston Rockets, and uh, he sounds like the most down to earth, normal, like straight dude there is. Sounds like it at least.
Yeah, no, and
You know?
it's great to kind of get that like you get a lot of color and texture about the whole operation from him. I think I really like that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And the history and his relationship with his dad and sister and brother. The brother when I went over there, like was very grouchy the whole time. Grouchy, but still gave me a can of beer, and like he kept telling me to leave him alone, to shoo. He kept shooing me away.
Which brother is this?
John.
Yeah, yeah, John.
Yeah,
But he gave you a beer. He gives everyone a beer, or a lot of people, I
I,
guess.
I still have the beer. I still have the beer as a souvenir.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm excited for Leanne to come here. Be very, be and the guys, the guys that I'm doing barbecue with. We're gonna be slab a barbecue,
Hmm.
and uh, slab. What we love about the name slab is that the center of slab is L.A.
That's very good. I didn't think about that.
Didn't that either. Like it was like six guys that were all so slow to realize that there's an L.A. right in front of. If that LA and the barbecue are the same, it
Mhm.
looks like also La Barbecue. You know,
So tell me about Slab. Is that how far off is that? Is that something that's
slab is slab is happening.
Mhm.
Slab is happening, and it's under construction. It's
Okay?
in like West Hollywood. It's at the space that used to be Doughboy Bakery, which was a very popular bakery in that area.
Hmm.
They had a very famous red velvet cake that was Oprah Winfrey's favorite thing. Uh, so we actually reached out to her people to let her know that we still have it, and we will mail her. We will send her a cake every month.
Oh,
We
that's
will send
fantastic.
cakes, uh, and we're doing it there.
So it will be well. What are you looking to do? Are you looking to do kind of a Central Texas style or a blend, kind of a Los Angeles?
Texas, well, the brisket, but the sandwich. We're gonna have some sandwiches. We're gonna have it as is. But I think that the sandwiches and there will be ways that it can be Central Texas, barbecue, but it will be pulled like in the direction of California somehow.
Hmm.
We have garlic in California. We have a lot of ingredients. We have a lot of great dishes, great ingredients
Hmm.
people can go. So, and you see more and more like sandwiches and other things that are getting involved with barbecue, even where the barbecue becomes. So we're going to be making some sandwiches, and you see even in Texas now, you see sandwiches that are coming up that are more and more gourmet, that are steering away from the classic,
For sure.
you know, uh, food, the classic sandwiches, the chopped beef, and whatever they may add to it, and the kinds of bread. Uh, so especially here in LA, for the purists,
Hmm.
uh, there'll be something, and for people who are not as familiar with barbecue and its flavors, there'll be, uh, like I heard somebody say, it's kind of like a gateway,
Hmm.
like with barbecue. Remember,
Yeah.
you hear mention that, like
Uh-huh.
a gateway barbecue, with these sandwiches.
And so you'll be able to buy meat by the pound, but also get sandwiches and other.
Meat by the pound. I hope that we'll have a day or two of the week that we'll have beef ribs,
Hmm.
uh, and we'll be doing spare ribs. We're working on a blend of sauce. We got our hands on an amazing chef, uh, amazing uh, uh, that will help us put together the sausages.
Okay.
Working on some casings and different kind of casing, distribution,
Hmm.
and uh, um, and we'll have that as well. And who knows?
Yeah.
We're for the ride. We're all. We have no idea what's gonna happen. Some of these guys have experience with restaurants, but barbecue is something new for everybody.
So is that do you think it'll probably be more next year, like spring, or do you think are you looking to try to get it open this year?
It seems like there are always helicopters here. It's like Hoosier. Unbelievable. 1 second, I just gotta check on the fire. One
Okay,
second.
okay.
So let's see. It's 10:10. Wow, it smells so good. My God,
I wish I was there.
these whiffs that I'm getting right now are just unbelievable. Adjusted cold. Two, and I added pieces of two splits of red on sides. I'm at 200. My my temperature has been fluctuating. I've been more or less at about two. Every time I check, it's at about 210. So from the time I leave it until I come back, it goes to about 250. I don't know. I like it. It doesn't have to be consistently at a certain temperature. It comes out nice, like 250, 210, 260, 210. To like it works. I
And
don't
how
know. It looks.
for your smoker is it there's obviously there's some hot spots, but is it pretty consistent?
Uh, yeah, it's consistently off.
See, it's you know your smoker. That's something too that people don't probably understand or don't know that you have to really spend a lot of time with your smoker to get to know it.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Spend some time with it. I know where it's hotter. Uh, well, as you would expect it to be, but it's great. It's been performing fantastic. I can't complain. It's just that I wish I had more room. You know.
Can you tell me a little bit about so you're doing a collaboration tomorrow, right?
Yes. So tomorrow, I was introduced to this guy who has this bagel thing going on in LA, and it's like a bagel truck. It's like a bagel truck where he does these. They make these beautiful, bagels, New York bagels. And we were talking about, maybe we can do something together, and we have made this sandwich, which is a bagel, this nice soft
Hmm.
and bagel, uh, with some creme fraiche, which is basically sour
Hmm.
cream. Creme fraiche with some harissa, which is a Moroccan. uh, chili in a way. Uh, the spicy is got some nice red color. Harissa, that, then the brisket on this creme fraiche, and then a fried egg on top of that. And we get some onion string.
Okay.
Uh, and it comes out great. It's actually it's fun. It's a fun sandwich. Like I said, it's like a gateway
Mm-hmm.
for some people, some barbecue. Uh,
And this is
but
Yeasty Boys, right?
the Yeasty Boys,
Yeah.
yeah. So the Yeasty Boys, fantastic, and they have a good time, and we play music. We crank up the music. My daughter's there, credit card, people the wrong change, you know. We're having fun.
And this is
Uh,
the fourth one you're doing with them, or
this
fifth?
this is like the fourth.
Oh, fourth. Okay.
This gotta be it. This is. I think this is the last one. I can't keep doing that, because that takes me away from my backyard,
Yeah.
and I want to have the backyard. So next week I'm gonna be off.
Okay.
I would like to at least think that next weekend I'll be off, and then on September 1st, the LA Times is having their annual the taste,
Okay.
uh, the food thing. So Jonathan Gold puts together uh, the opening night and invited me to do the barbecue.
Oh, that's
For that,
great.
yeah, for that event. So they also suggested, somebody over there suggested that uh, if I'm doing that, to not do the smorgasbord and just do that event.
Gotcha.
Uh, I'm sure I could have done both. Just I wasn't ready and I only had one smoker, and it didn't work out. I'm sure I would be able to do it. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So September 1st, the taste, the Los Angeles Times, the taste, which is going to be amazing.
Oh, that'll be so great.
Yeah, Nancy Silverton, Voltaggio, Mario Batali, and Italy. I mean,
Yeah,
like
because Italy's coming this fall, right? Isn't that opening up this fall? I think.
gonna be there, and just all these great restaurants of LA are gonna be there at this event.
And where's that at?
It's at the Paramount Studios.
Okay.
So I'm doing the opening night, September 1st, and then there's September 2nd and 3rd. But I'm only there the first night. So I have that. So this way, next weekend, because I haven't been off any weekend I was off when I was out of the country, and before that, I was, so it'd be nice to have like a weekend off and not to wake up on a Saturday morning not smelling like barbecue. Look at your hair. I want to look like.
That's so funny. How many briskets do you usually do when you are smoking on that one? How many briskets can you do?
I do about 13 to 15. It's a small tank.
And when do you think you'll get your new smoker?
I'm supposed to get it September 1st.
Oh wow! Prior to this event, or like just around this event?
Right before September 1st.
Okay.
Yes, I can for this one. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll do it on this one. I would like to be able to do at least one run on the new one before cooking for September 1st, because I'm gonna have a lot of pressure. Jonathan Gold.
Yeah, I know.
It needs to be all right.
Of course, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't want to risk it, but um, I'd like to.
Yeah.
Who knows? Doesn't
Well,
always work.
I wanted to really quick. I wanted to hear your story again about Langers, and about the table.
Yes, Langer's is my favorite place to eat in LA. Langer's is great. It's a part of the LA fabric. At least if you're a Jewish kid growing up in LA, uh, they make this pastrami. It's one of the best.
Easily.
Langer's on the West Coast, Katz's Deli on the East Coast. Uh, you know, Langer's is great, and so I love that place. It's a very special place for me, and I have gone there quite a bit, and then very frequently.
Hmm.
And after many years, they finally remodeled. You heard this helicopter?
Yeah, a little bit, but it adds it's texture.
This is welcome to Fallujah, reporting live from Fallujah
Stay down. Make sure you stay near the tent.
barbecue podcast from Fallujah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's horrible. So after all these years, this place has been there for nearly 70 years. It's in a very seedy part of town, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot.
And it's not a place where you would let your kids walk around by themselves. It's not a place you would walk around barefoot. It's not a place you would walk around at night.
Well,
Uh,
they're not open at night now because the area has changed so much. I think.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So after all these years that they've been there, they've remodeled, and they when I say remodeled, they replaced their their tabletops, and they used to have classic um, deli counters and classic booths and classic tables with copper coins. So they replaced them, and now they don't have these copper coins. They have something that looks like it. So they were throwing all those tables away. I asked the owner, Mr. Langer. I asked him. There's Norm, and then there's Al, and I always get confused between which one's the grandfather and which one's the son. So, which one's Norman and which one's Al. I always get confused. But anyhow, so he saved me a table. The original plan was for it to be a homework desk for my daughter, for it to be like a Langer's homework desk.
Mhm.
But she wanted, so now a friend of mine who is a fabricator, he's very crafty guy. He's got all the tools. He turned it into a coffee table, and it's a coffee table in my office
That's
that's
so
just sitting.
great.
One of a kind. One of a and somebody from somebody from 0.0, which is Bourdain's production company, offered me $2,500 for that table. Or,
How did they see it?
you know, huh?
Did they see it or just heard about it?
They heard about it. A friend of mine is a TV agent at William Morris,
Okay.
and he somebody, and I can't, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. It's such a great thing. And it's not, if you ask me, for the right person, it's worth more than
For
$2,500.
sure.
Not for me. It's just to have that,
Well, it's
and
special. It's special to keep. Yeah, it has so much value.
it has the number 36, which for in the Jewish for Jewish people, it's a lucky number. It's double high, high 18, which is very lucky number. Number 36, and it has all the pieces of gum underneath it. You know,
That's really cool.
like I was telling, you think about it. Think about all the memories that were
Hmm.
created over the table. Amazing.
Yeah, no, that's it's always been when you told me that story, I was really cool, and I was just excited for you to have that. That's such a cool, and it's a piece of history, a piece of Los Angeles history.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I told them afterwards what I've done, and I think I saw it hit him that I could have sold tables. And he got rid of 40 tables, 30 tables. Those 30 tables could have been,
Yeah.
15,000 could have gotten out of that.
Well, a lot of stadiums have sold their old seats when they demolish
What
them.
I told him, like I said, how some people have a chair from Ebbets Field.
Hmm.
This is Ebbets Field.
It
You
is
know?
for us. It is.
Amazing.
Hmm.
If you could get something like that from, Louis Mueller or something from another place, it'd be great.
Hmm.
Go to Snows, and I want Tootsie to give me her over. I Tootsie to give her you know.
Well, let's see what we could do. We'll send a message out to Tootsie and see if I'm going to be talking to Carrie over there. I think in a week or two, so I'll throw them a line and see what they say.
And it would be great to talk to them in person. I need to get out there again to
Yeah.
Snows.
So when are you going to Texas again?
I plan to be there in September.
Okay.
Yeah, I plan definitely being there in September. The chances are very, very high I'll be there in September. Now I can actually sell it to my wife as legitimate business trip, like R&D, that I have to, you know,
For
like,
sure.
leave me. I'm not with 3 kids. I'm like, okay, I have to go. You know,
It's integral.
work, go for work. You know,
So you are
uh,
you going to Truth? Are you going to?
yeah, definitely for the truth. Leonard is really probably my friend in over there in Texas. I love that guy. I'll go to Truth. I'll see if I can get some group together to go back to Snows. I'd like to go back to Snows because it snows. You know,
Mhm.
it's great.
You have
Don't get me
to.
wrong. I don't know if I would have said number one, but if I sit here and say like, "Oh, I'm not saying it's number one," doesn't mean that it's best. Snows is amazing.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know. To say number one, there's so many different things. It's magical. You know, you go to Snows. You know, you're back there in that backyard, like in that backyard, but you know, you're in that in
That
that
yard,
surround.
that big, yeah.
Yeah, like no, you see that smoke. You know, you realize that you're somewhere special.
Hmm.
Like where
It
this
is
is
worth. It's
really
worth the pilgrimage. That's what, and it's worth the trip, and that's what kind of makes it even more special than just going somewhere in town. It's
absolutely because you know, what a spider.
a
Uh,
spider.
spider. You know, people go to Texas like. We're going to Texas. We're gonna have barbecue. Where are you gonna have barbecue? Right? So they always say like, okay, we're going to Franklin. Of course,
Yeah,
everybody goes. And then some will say, okay, well, some will venture out to
the
Lockhart.
Lockhart. Yeah.
They're going to Lockhart, and they'll hit the three at the Lockhart: Smitty's, Kreutz, Blacks. But it takes a commitment
Hmm.
to go to Snows. You go to Snows, whether you're in Houston or you're in Austin, then that's the
It's
chances are you're gonna. It's a commitment, you know.
and you have to get up
Unless
early.
get up early unless you've gone to Texas to visit your family in Lexington.
Which
Unless
is that's highly unlikely.
only unlikely that you have a lot in Lex, you know, where you're staying, and you know, so
I
it's a
wish I had
commitment.
an uncle that lived in, in Lexington.
But yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's I'd like to, but you know, I want to go, and I'd love to take my kids with me,
Hmm.
uh, and to take them to Mueller. To I'd like to, you know, I'd like to hit other ones. You
Hmm.
know, I'd love to hit like the Haas chocolate. I'd
Hmm.
love to hit. Uh,
Even go down to Houston and check out those places.
yeah, absolutely. You know, instead of going to the other ones, the ones that I've been to that I know that I love,
Hmm.
it would be great to do. But you know, Uh, 12 Bones, this
Hmm.
place that opened in Austin, 12 Bones, this guy Marco.
The
I love
original
to,
Bodacious.
yeah, yeah. You know, I want to go to Friedman's. I want to go to, there are quite a few, uh, but you know what? I'd love to get a chopped uh, beef sandwich over this at Burns barbecue that I keep
Hmm.
hearing. I was, that has popped up in so many conversations that
I've never been there. I want to go so badly.
podcast that I'm listening to, and you think you hear all these names, and
Hmm.
you're like, and somehow with all the conversation that I'm involved with, Burns barbecue has never come up,
Hmm.
and now I keep hearing about it. So there are quite a few places I'd like to hit, quite a
Yeah.
few.
So September you're probably going to go.
In September I'd go, and I bring my Texas monthly passport from the.
So you get your stickers, right?
See how many see how many I can hit, which won't be many.
Yeah, I know it's there's a lot of traveling involved, and it makes you respect the guys that go out and go out all those places. It's a commitment even just to hit 4 or 5 or 6 in a day.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And when it hits you, and you're done.
yeah, your day is done. You are done.
Oh God! But we still come back for more. You
Yeah,
know, we still come back, and hopefully, you know, as time goes by, people will take barbecue more and more seriously, and they'll realize that the effort and what goes into uh, producing this food, and that it's different than what they think barbecue. They hear barbecue and they think about and sausages, burgers, steaks, and quick things like that. Hopefully, barbecue will be taken more and more seriously, and you start seeing it, recognized more and more seriously, and we'll have the recognition that in many cases it many cases deserves. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
accolades. James Beard, things like that.
Well, it's starting to. It's becoming more and more respected, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So uh, I'm here for the ride. I'm jumping on this wave, and
Well, awesome. I'm glad you started up. I'm glad that your business is located in Austin. If it wasn't for that,
right, that's right. It could have been, it could have been Detroit. Could have been doing like
could make
uh,
do those like crazy sandwiches with like French fries in them and stuff.
pony, pony dog, pony dog.
It could have been anything. It could have been like Santa Fe, and then you'd be doing like red and green sauce stuff.
Right. There are some people, here in LA that I've gotten messages like I would love, it's a Wednesday. I cook Friday for Saturday, one
Hmm.
day a week,
Yeah.
day a week. I get a message on a Tuesday. Hey, I would like to come by this afternoon to pick up 4 pounds of tri-tip. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't do tri-tip. I do brisket on Saturday. How are you at a barbecue place? Do tri-tip,
Oh,
like,
that's hilarious.
yeah. People in California, they want to tri-tip.
They also don't even know what you are. They don't realize that you're in a backyard operation.
They don't realize at all. And then I but I saw a barbecue truck, a food truck, and it's a barbecue. It says barbecue, Texas barbecue, and I was very excited. And it was, my God, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was pre-sliced. She gave me slices like with tongs. She picked slices like she has a thing, and she's like a bunch like slices,
Oh,
and
that's so sad.
it was like slices that we had at the time that when we went to that place.
Oh,
And
okay. Oh, wonderful. Well, quickly, I want to wrap this up because I want to get you back to what you're doing, and I want to though. So, if people want to get a hold of you, if people, the best way is through Instagram, correct?
Instagram, I try to use emails, uh, and it was all over the place. And as annoying or as difficult as it may seem, it's that's not the purpose. That's not the point. It's just easier to have everything
In one
contained in
place.
one place. Yeah, and it's Trudy's, Trudy, like the name Trudy. Trudy's underscore underground. But as soon as you type that in, you'll see
Hmm.
Trudy's underground. That's me. She shoot a message like, "Hey, I'm in LA. I want to have some brisket. No
Yeah.
tri-tip."
No tip. Well, thank you, Bert, so much, and hopefully I'll see you before September 1st. But I'm gonna try to come out to that too if I can get out there.
Sunday.
It's on a Sunday, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, have a great rest of your night. Have a nice cook, and where are you going to be at tomorrow? You'll be. Where's
Out
the?
in downtown LA, there's some big event downtown with all these showrooms, and so it's going to be a lot of they call it a lot of tastemakers.
Okay.
Tastemaker in 27, somebody with a lot of followers on social media. That's what a
All right.
tastemaker. It's not somebody thing. It's just somebody with social. So that
Well, it should be
somebody,
interesting.
I saw somebody, this girl, and she told me, she said, I went to a party last night, and you know who was there? No, who was there? And she tells me some random name. I said, who is that? And she looks and she said, that person, they have 500,000 followers on Instagram. What? Who is that? I don't see
Yeah.
that.
How would you know?
I have 500,000 followers. I'm like, that's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. It makes life interesting. 2017 for you.
that's what you're talking about. Anyway, uh, thanks for having me, man.
Oh,
Good
thank you,
time.
thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time, and I'll see you very soon.
Yeah, you got it. I'll be in touch.
All right. Thanks, bro.